Hello everyone, it is Devobrata, and I'm not going to waste time by introducing myself. So you will be able to get all the details in the all the links of about myself on the details section of this video. Okay. So before starting, I want to say one thing. Like all the video, I tell that I am a slow learner, so I will suggest more to practice. Okay, so it will be good if you practice more, then you can overcome any difficulties that I faced in my childhood days while I started studying computer science. So for the time being, I can say dream big. So quickly going into the topic. So today we will cover if block. So all the if things. Okay, including the nested if and composite if. And I will share all the details. But the prerequisite before we start this course, it will be good if you go through my first video that is regarding the starting programming. It will be good to go through that. If not, do not worry. You can start fresh because it is only the second chapter, means nested if, and in the first chapter we only did some basic calculation, and we learned how to write the print statement, how to write the input statements. Anyhow, I will show you once again how to take the input, how to print a value, how to get the sum. So you can start fresh from this video. But if you want, you can check my the first video regarding Python starting programming. So, and the second thing is required most, it is the time. So I want you to go through all the exercise I will show you, and after that, at the last of the video, I will share the exercise details. So it would be good if you solve the exercise and send me a copy, or if you have any doubt, you can comment on the comment section of this video. But this I am giving effort to prepare this video just to show you all the aspects of if block. And if you are really interested to know how if block works, you can go through all the exercise by yourself and do it in your laptop or in your compiler, in your Python compiler. Okay, so quickly moving into the thing. So we can solve some basic problems in if. So before starting that, I would recommend to prepare one app, because we are not learning if just because of it is in our syllabus. Okay, I want to show you some apps and some problems in real world where you will need to implement if. Okay, so in Excel, I think every one of you having Excel or have knowledge on Excel. So this is the developer tab. So you can go to my first video. We have prepared some of the apps. If you haven't checked the first video, if it is your first video, first tutorial from me, then do not worry. You can go to options, and there you will find customize ribbon, and you will find a checkbox like developer. So if you click that, the developer, if you click that checkbox, developer tab will be available. If you uncheck the box, it will be disappeared from the list. So for the time being, developer tab is present in my ribbon. So what I will do, I will just insert. You can insert and create some apps, insert some objects. So first what I will do, I will introduce a command button. Let me do that. So after that, what I will do, I will just introduce a text box quickly. And what I'm trying to build, I am trying to build one app to divide values. Okay, so I will take two inputs into this two text box, and I will print it out in the third box. So please do not worry, this would not be in your syllabus, but it is important. It is very important if you want to really learn what is the use of if. So I am putting some color. I think you all are able to do this. Just follow my steps. Just pause this video and follow the steps. In the caption, you can write divide, say, and I can put some color in the third box as well. I can do many things. You can see a long list. We can do many things. So let me put blue. So I can put many things, like I can put some shadow and kind of thing. So it is not required for this task. Anyway, let me skip everything. So whenever the design mode is on, you will be able to go inside this button. If the design mode is off, you cannot do anything. You can just click like a normal app. But if the design mode is somehow on, if you click, you will go inside the button. And here you can write some Visual Basic app, Visual Basic code. Okay. But do not worry, again, just check what I'm trying to prepare. You do not need to learn this code. We will, after that, we'll jump into the Python coding. So for the time being, I am trying to build an app. So what I am trying to do, I am taking a from text box, a variable a, and that is taking the value from text box 1. B, that is taking the value from text box 2. And now what is text box 2? What is text box 1? So that is basically, if you click on this box, it is the text box 1. If you click on this, see, the name is text box 2, and this is our text box 3. Okay, so whatever will be written in the text box 1, that will be inserted into A. Whatever will be written into text box 2, that will be inserted into B. And after that, what I will do, I will just divide A by B, and after that, I will put the value of C into text box 3. A simple task. Okay, let me close this coding window and let turn off the design mode. So I will not be able to go inside anymore. So I can write 50, I can give two values, 50 and say 20, 50 and 10, say anything you can give. If you click on divide, you can see the value 5 here as a result. Okay, similarly, I can give anything, 20 and say 5, it should give 4. Look, it is giving the 4 as a result. So I can do anything. So in your app also, you will be able to do anything. But in your app also, they have turned off the design mode, so that you will not be able to see any Android coding in your Android mobile, or you will not be able to see any iOS coding, that is iPhone operating system. So you will not be able to see, because they have turned off their design mode. But if what will happen if someone gives 0 as a input in the second box? So now if I try to divide 20 with 0, so it will say division by 0 error. So if I click on debug, now I am able to see the code. So that should not be the exact approach. That is a wrong thing. Okay. Anyhow, we have to stop our user to see the code. So let me check what actually happens in case of Windows calculator or the calculator you have in your phone. Just try the same. Let me try. I am trying to divide 10 by 0. So it is giving cannot divided by 0. So it is not a value, but it is a string. It is a message that cannot divided by 0. But in case of I give some other values, other correct values, it is giving me the correct result. Let me divide 50 divided by 2. It is giving 25. Okay, let me do the same thing here. Let me turn on the design mode and I will do some modifications here. So what I will do, I will just check the value of B. I need to check that. So that is the use of if. If B equals to 0, then only I will print the message box. Otherwise, do not need to print anything. Our calculator or this division button is working correctly. So what I will do, I will just print message box. I will say, you fool, you cannot divide anything by 0. I am giving a pretty different message. So yeah, after that, else if it is not 0, then what I will do, I will follow the simple rule, and I am giving end if. End if means our if block is ended. Okay, and you can write any other code like here. So do not require that for the time being. So for the time being, I am checking if B is 0, then only print this part. If it is not, then go for this path. So these two paths are mutually exclusive, means either you can go with this path or this path. It will not happen that you are able to run both of these paths. Okay, both of these sentences. So you can write some activity here with respect to some conditions, And you can write another set of activities. Here we are doing a division and we are printing something inside another block, another else block. Okay, so let me quickly close it and turn off the design mode, and let me now try to give some values, some normal values, 20 and 10. Divide. Look, it is giving answer 2 because the value here is not 0, means b is not 0, so that it is going to the else block. I think idea is clear. Now I think you can guess what will happen if I give 0 here. So if I try to divide anything with 0, it is showing, you fool, you cannot divide anything by 0. Cool thing, right? So if I will prefer to build this app by your own, but it will not be on in your syllabus. But in real life problems, in real apps, in real website, in games, it is required. Whenever your life is ended in while playing game, the game will be ended. It will show that the player has been died, kind of thing. So every time we should check if the value is this, if the life is 0, if user has pressed ended, so kind of thing. Always we will look for if and else. If it is true, then I will do this. If it is not, I will do this. Okay, so that's all. We do not require this Excel coding. Let me close this. Okay, and quickly go into some of the problems now in that I will solve in Python. So find maximum between two numbers. So let me go to the, if you do not have any compiler, what you can do, if you do not have Python compiler, you can search in Google online Python compiler and you can go any one link. Okay, so online GDB is the preferred one, so I will do the programming in online GDB, but you can take any compiler, any online compiler. Okay, so let me do that quickly. So it is asking for maximum number from two different values. So to take input from user, what should I do? I have to write this sentence. Some of you already know that. It is very easy. And if you do not know, this is the simple syntax. Enter first number. That's all. Enter second number. That's all. And what I will do after that, C equals to A by B. Okay, sorry, it is asking for the maximum number. Okay, A greater than B, right? And you have to give a colon here in Python, and you have to press a tab. Look, I'm not starting the line from here. What I'm doing, I'm just pressing a space or tab. Okay, just a tab, not a space actually. So a tab, then I am printing A is maximum, or maximum is A, anything. Okay, and else part I have to give else, a colon, and again giving a tab, or it will sometime automatically it will be taken. So B is maximum. Okay, I think it is clear. If you put the tab, all of those lines are will be inside else. Okay, if you do not press this tab, it will be outside of the if. I am going to show you. First, let me run this code. It is enter first number. So I am giving first number as what can I give, 20, and second number as 5. So obviously 20 is greater. So look, it is giving 20 is maximum, and it is coming, it is going into this part, if block. 20 is greater than 5. A is greater than B, means 20 is greater than 5. If yes, it is printing this block. So at that time, it is not going here. Okay. So let me run the code once again, but user will not be able to understand inside the developer or the people who are doing the code. So what they are giving, they have given if, or they have given something else. Normal people will not be able to understand. They will just give some values like 9 and 19. So 19 is maximum. At that time, the control is going into this part, else part. It is not going inside this. So suppose if I give a tab and write print hello. So this hello will be executed when only it will go inside the else. Look, let me give some 9 and 19. it is giving hello. But if I just delete this tab and I just if I run it, this hello will be printed always. So let me give some other value. First value is greater 19 and 9. Look, then also this part will be printed because sorry, I have to press enter. Yeah, 19 is maximum and hello. Okay, always it will be printed, but if you give a tab, then it comes under the else block. So now if I give 19 and 9, it will not be printed. Let me give 19 and 9, then it will not be printed, because now by giving the tab, it means it comes under the else. Okay, so be careful writing your if else block. Okay, and this is the syntax. Okay, so next one is the find the area and perimeter of a rectangle and find which one is greater. Is area is greater or perimeter? So I can modify this piece of code. Enter side 1, and here I can write enter side 2. Okay, fine. So I have to calculate area and perimeter. So I can give area equals to A into B. I think all of you know the rules to calculate area and perimeter of a rectangle, because I think you are better than me, at least in case of mathematics. So area and perimeter, I have calculated both. And now I'm going to check if area greater than peri, colon, print, area is greater. So now I do not need to print anything. I can directly write area is greater and else print peri is greater or perimeter is greater. Better to write. So I think idea is clear, right? So let me run the same. Let me give two input, like the first one is 10 and second one is 5. So area is greater. 10 into 5 means 50. Fine. Very good. So yeah. So next problem is enter a year and find if it is leap year or not. So to check the leap year, I need to take only one input from user. Let me take one input, enter the year. Okay, so after that, what I will do, if a number is divisible, so what is the definition of leap year? If a year is divisible by 4, then it is called as leap year. I know there are some more logic behind leap year, but I'm not going into that. You can find those problems in my exercise. You can solve those problems at that time. If you are not able to do that, I can provide you the solution as well. But for the time being, I am concentrating only on the simple logic. If the year is divisible by 4, then it is leap year. If it is not, then it is not leap year. So how to check if a number is divisible by 4 or not? So the good way is to write y percentage 4. Right? Y percentage 4. Say 8 is divisible by 4 or not. How you are able to understand the same? Divide 8 by 4. If the remainder comes 0, then it means that 8 is divisible by 4. In case of 9, if you try to divide 9 by 4, the remainder will be 1. So if remainder comes anything other than 0, that means the number is not divisible by the second number. Okay, if it comes as 0, then you will be sure that the number is divisible by the second one. Okay, so here to compare the number, you have to give double equals to. So y percentage 4 double equals to 0. Normal equals to means assignment. Like if I give b equals to 5. So at that time it is assignment. We will use single equals. But in case of double equals means it is comparison. Y percentage 4 equals 0. Is it equals to 0? Something like that. So I have to give a colon and I have to print. It is leap year. Giving it is leap year. Okay, and else I will give it is not leap year. So you can implement this logic of if anywhere. Okay, it is not leap year. Fine, let me test the same. Let me run it. Let me give 2020, and it is saying, okay, what it is giving, y is not defined. Okay, sorry. Oh, it is good to do some mistakes. Okay, so it is, you can also face this kind of problem. Just read the error message. It is saying y is not defined. So I checked y, yeah, there is, I have not taken the value of y, I have just taken a. So I have corrected the same, it is y now. So let me run the same once again. It is 2020, and yeah, it is a leap year. So what will happen if I give 2025, 2025? So it is saying it is not a leap year. Fine one. Okay, so it is good. So in if block, you will be able to see these 6 type of relational operators. Greater than, we have checked in first 2 problem. Greater than, equals to, you can use. Less than equals to, double equals to, we have checked just now in the problem of leap year. And not equals to, we can also use. You can think your logic like this. If y percentage 4 is not equals to 0, then I will print it is not leap year. Otherwise, it is leap year. Kind of that. Let me try the same. I will give to 0 to 5. So it is not divided by 0. So it is coming into that block. So whatever comes into your mind first, use that one. Okay. There is no hard code limit. Any criteria. Okay. Anyway, so one question. So is there any way to print the codes from both if and else block? Suppose if I want to run this sentence and this one. So is there any way? Can I write any condition here so that both the sentences will be executed? The answer is clearly no. Clearly no. We only can execute either the first part or the second part. Means the lines written inside if or the lines written inside else. Okay, that is clear. Do not be confused. So today we are going to learn 5 topics altogether in if block. We will not learn syntax anymore because this is the syntax. There is nothing more with the syntax. We will not going to learn anything on the syntax part. It is all. So if you feel you are enough for your academic syllabus, you can leave. Okay, but if you really want to learn all the logics of if, how to solve all the logics using this if syntax, this small syntax, the if one, so you can stay till the last of the video, or if you feel it is enough, you can leave. So no issue. So we will now learn how to adjust or how to feed this if block inside any complex logic. So first we are going to learn scope of if block. So that is the topic of 1. So what do you mean by that? Suppose we have a problem like enter 2 numbers and find the division. We have already checked this problem earlier in Visual Basic. We have just completed the same in Excel programming. So now I'm going to do the same here. So it is like enter first number, and I will give a space. And here I will give enter the second number. I'm giving a space. So first, it may happen like someone gives a value like first value as 5 and second value is 20. It might happen. So there is no guarantee user will give the larger value first and the smaller value at last. So if anything happens like that, in case of y is greater than x, then what I will do? I will simply check if y is greater than x, colon. If y is greater than x, means y is larger than x, then what I will do? I will just replace those values. Okay. Okay, it is taking some auto value here anyway. Okay, so this is the code how you can replace the values. If y is larger than x, then we can replace the values, and now x will become the larger. One thing, there is a misunderstanding like all the if block will have attached else block. So that is not true actually. You can have a single if block like this. So because you do not have anything to do if x is greater than y, you have only some tasks to perform if y is greater than x. So in the else block you have nothing to do, so you can skip the else block. Okay, so what we just done now, so we have not introduced any else block here, so it is done. So we can write an another independent if block where I will check the previous things, like if b equals to 0, then I will say print you fool only, you fool. I'm not going to write anything else. And after that else, I can write print the result is, I can say A by B. So these two are independent if. Okay, this is an independent if else block. That is one thing, and that is another independent if block. So that is the concept number one. And second concept is it can happen that you have a if block without else part. Okay, so that is very normal. Let me run the same. So let me give a value like 5 and 20. So what it will do, it will go through the first highlighted if block that has been highlighted in my screen. So it will replace those value and it will derive the answer as 4. Let me check. Okay, what happened? What mistakes I have done? Okay, here I have given x and y, and here I have given b. Okay, I am doing so much mistakes, but it is good to do mistakes again. Even you can find some mistakes in your code anyway. So let me give once again 5 and 20. So it will swap the values 20 and 5, and after that it will give the answer as 4. Yeah, it is giving the correct answer. Now let me run it once again. Let me give like 20 and 0 this time. So this is in order. So nothing will be happen for the first if. It will just pass by. So 10 and 0, it will come to the second if, and it will check y equals to 0. Answer is yes, and it will print you fool. Correct, I guess. So it is now clear. So let me go to the slide. Okay, so it is completed now. So topic 2, as we need to cover 5 topics. So topic 2 is nested if. So nested if means here in the problem, all the if blocks are independent. This if is independent of this if, right? Those are independent if block. But we can write some dependent if block using nested if function. Okay, so let me show you first. So it is a problem like enter a month and find the number of days. Like if anyone gives 1, means January, he or she will be able to see 31 days. If anyone gives 2, he or she will be able to see 28 or 29 days, because we have 28 or 29 days in February. If anyone gives 3, he or she will able to see 31 days. So I will try to implement the same. So I'm going to delete everything. Otherwise, I am committing some mistakes. So it will be good to delete everything. Okay, so M is the month, say. So I will take an input from user that enter the month number, right? So user will give the month into M. So now what I will do, I will just check if M equals to 1. The value of M is 1. If yes, I will print 31 days. Cool enough. Means I think you will be able to understand the logic. Else, if it is not 1, then all the values, all the values will come here except January. So I can write month except Jan. Means now let's check. Let's check first. If I give 1, it will successfully give me 31 days. But what will happen if I give like the 2? It will comes to this part. All the numbers except 1 will come to the else part. Let me give 3. It will come to month except January. Okay, everything. If I give anything, 12, even if I give 18, that is not a valid month, then also it will come in the else part, like month except Jan. correct? So I can do one thing. I can introduce another if here. I can write all the numbers are available in this else block. Okay, listen carefully. This is most important one. So now in the else part, if I want to segregate 2, so I can write inside of that else, I can introduce another new if block, and that will be asking for if the value of m is 2 now. So if yes, it will print 28 or 29 days, because February can have only 28 or 29 days. If it is not even 2, then I will print month except Jan and Feb. Good enough. Let me run it quickly. Enter the month number. Let me give 1. It will come into the first if block. So if I give 2, what will happen? It will come to this else. It will come to this else. Then again it will be checked by the second if loop, second if block, and now it is correct. So it will go into this part and it will print 28 to 29 days. Okay, so let me enter the same. Look, it is printing 28 to 29 days. So what will happen if I give any other value like 3? It will be failed in the first if, it will be failed in the second if block as well, and it will go into here. So let me enter the same. It is very important one for your programming journey. So in your programming journey, first priority will be for loop, that I'm going to show in the next video, and the second important part is if. So these two are mandatory in any languages. It might be Python, it might be Java, it might be anything, but you have to understand the logic of if else, so that you will be able to do it by yourself. Look, syntaxes are same. I'm not showing you any new thing. We have already learned the syntax, so we are using it in an efficient way. So suppose if now I'm looking for a more detail, like if month is 3, then I am going to print 31 days, because we have 31 days in March. So else, yeah, month except January, February and March. Good enough, I guess you are able to understand. If not, I will recommend you to go back and see the video once again. And yeah, obviously do it by your hand. Okay, let me give 3 now. It is showing 31 days. Let me give 4 now. Then it will fail in all the 3 if block, and it will come to the last else block, and it will show a January, February, March kind of thing. Good enough. Okay, so let me go to the second problem. It is showing enter marks and print the grades. So what are the grades? Okay, if anyone gets 91 to 100, computer will tell A. If anyone gets 71 to 90, it will say grade B, kind of that. So let me quickly write this program for you. So actually in real life, no one going to calculate or no one going to estimate that while printing your school result as well or college result, no one going to check one by one for all the students. It is the computer who decides if the student will come under grade A or he or she will come under grade B. So here as well, I am taking marks as input. I am asking user to give enter your marks kind of thing. Okay, so what I will do, let me check the table. It is 91 to 100. So if anyone gets greater than 100, I can say invalid. So let me put that. If marks greater than 100, I will say invalid. Okay, else I will check. I will start checking. So if the marks is greater than equals to 91, that means it should come under 91 to 100, because all the numbers below 100 will come into this else block. Listen carefully once again. This is the most important line of this video. All the numbers less than 100 will come into, less than equals to 100 will come into this else block. So now I am just checking out of those numbers, which numbers are greater than 91. so that I will get the range of 91 to 100, right? So print grade A. Okay, sorry, I have to give a quote, grade A. Okay, so which numbers come into this else part? All the numbers, again listen carefully, all the numbers lesser than equals to 90, means all the numbers who are not able to satisfy this condition will come under this else block, means all the numbers lesser than equals to 90. Now it will be enough for me if I check this, if the number is greater than 71 or not. If the number of it greater than 71, so I am sure it should lie in between 71 and 90. I do not need to check if the number is less than 90 or not. I do not require to do that. It will be enough if we check if the number is greater than 71 or not. Because if it is inside else, that means it is already lesser than 90. So that it comes under else. And now it will be enough to check the number is greater than 71 or not. So I can print grade B. Let me go to the problem. 51 to 70 is C. So again the same logic, else of this if, else of this if. Okay, that means I will check only if the marks is greater than 51 or not. If yes, I can write print grade C. Again, the last part, else, the last condition, else if m greater than equals to 31. Let me check the table. Yeah, 31 to 50 it is D. So if it is greater than 31, then I can write grade D. And else means all the numbers below 31. Okay, so I do not need to give any if kind of, if m less than 30. I do not need to give it, because if it is coming to else, that means all the numbers below 31 will come under this. All the negative numbers, all everything less than 31. So I can write directly grade D. So that is the logic I am, grade E, sorry. That is the logic I am trying to build. And look at the alignment. You can clearly see which if is having which else. So this if and else comes under one part, and it is mandatory to give tab. So this if is coming under this else. So it is a child if. So we have given two tabs here. We have given two tabs, and in this if we have given three tabs. So accordingly, you can create a ladder. That's why these statements are called, this pattern is called if else or nested if ladders or if else ladder. Okay, so that's all. Let me check if our program is good or not. Let me give 110. So it will say invalid. So let me run once again. Let me give 95. So it is grade A. So let me run with 65. So it will come under, as per the table, 65 should come under grade C, 51 to 70. So let me check. Yeah, it is giving the correct result. Okay. If you are not able to understand, my request would be go through the video once again, pause the video, take your time, have a break if needed, and type the problem in your compiler. And be careful while typing. You might face some errors like me. If you face, just look carefully. The error will be somewhere in the code itself. So you have to just identify. It will take some time, but yeah, it will be good for you to face your errors by yourself. Okay. So anyway, so we have covered second topic. So now let's move to the third one. It is compositive, and the same number once again, month number, and find the number of days in it. But the thing is, I have not taken the backup of that code. So I need to write the code once again. So let me take this backup of this code. Okay, let me take a backup. Okay, so let me delete that one. Okay, yeah, I have taken the backup. So month number and find the number of days in it. So I have already run the program, but it was incomplete. I know some of you having the complaint like, okay, sir, you have not completed that part of program. I know, that's why I will do it right now. So I am typing once again for you. Okay. I should have taken the backup, but yeah, let me type it for you once again. So enter the month number in. So here I can give some I can combine some of the if conditions, because it was hectic actually to write the condition for all 12 months. All 12 months, it is really a hectic. So it will be better if we can combine somehow all the condition, all the similar type of condition. So here I will write if the month is greater than 12, or or if the month is less than 1, then I will say it is invalid. So a month cannot hold simultaneous values. It cannot hold 13 and 0 simultaneously. At the same time, it cannot hold two values. So the value of m might be greater than 10, or it might be lesser than 1. So in those situations, I will say invalid. Look, it is more efficient program than what we did earlier. So after that, in else part, if it is valid, then it will come into the else. And at that part, I will check if the value of m is equals to 1, or means the value of m cannot be simultaneously 1 and 3. So it might be 1, or the value of m is 3. So if the value of m is 5, I guess, yeah, or the value of m is 7, or the value of m is August, means 8, or the value of m is August, September, October, okay, 10, or the value of m is 12, because all of them having the 31 days in that month. So I will print 31 days. So there is no meaning to write the same condition, means multiple condition one again and again, for the same output, 31 days. So I am combining everything. So that is being called compositing. So look, I have written everything here in this part. Okay. So I can write else, and I can give a comment like if m equals to 2 means February, then I can write print either 28 or 29 days. You can have maximum, means you cannot have 30 or 31 days in the month of February. So else I do not require to write any more months, individual months. It will be enough if I write 30 days. Okay, because if it is coming to this else block, means m is somewhere between 12 and 1, because it is not exceeding 12 or it is not below 1. Okay, so it is if it is coming to the else block, that means it is somewhere between 1 to 12. So we have already covered all the numbers in these two if block. So whatever will be left, that should have the 30 days. Okay, let me check the same. I'm not going to believe on my codes. Okay, so it should be if I have given 4, means April. So it is not coming anywhere. So it will directly come into the else block and it will print 30 days. So it is correct that April is having 30 days. The same thing again. Let me run the 12. Last time I couldn't go till the last of the month. So 12 means 31 days. Yeah, it is giving the correct result. So let me give some absurd values like -5. Suppose anyone gives. So it will give invalid month, right? So it is more prompt program and more efficient. So you can misplace. It is not mandatory that you have to write program like this. You can do one thing like you can put your if else block inside if another if block, like if m is if m is greater than equals to 1 and m is less than equals to 12, means if m is valid, in a word, if m is valid, then I will do this. I will write these lines inside if. Else will be alone. If m is not valid, I will print it is not. I will just print it valid. Concept is clear. You can place your code anywhere inside if inside else anywhere. Okay, so here let me check again. Let me give 6 this time, June. It is giving 30. This part of code is written inside our condition like this. I have to have a valid month, means month between 1 to 12. Then only I will check this part of code. Else it is invalid. So you can do stuff like this. You can write something like if m equals to 4, or m equals to 6, or m equals to what is the month, 9, or m equals to 11, then 30 days, and else 28 or 29 days. You can do anything like that. Let me check. So 2 means it cannot satisfy any of the if blocks, and it will come to this else part, and it will show me the month of February, the days of February. Yeah, it is giving the correct result. So I hope it is now clear. Okay, the compositive is clear. So we have already covered the topic 3. If you have any doubt, you can comment on the comment section of this video, or you can send a mail to me. I will try to address your problem, and the easiest way will be to pause the video and go through again. Okay, so the topic 4 is nested if versus compositive. So the problem is, okay, I have already taken the backup. Enter the marks and print the grade. Yeah, I have already taken the backup. So let me go to this part of code. Okay, and let me delete this. Okay, so I have okay, let me delete everything. Yeah, so this was our previous code, and now it is asking for the same. Yeah, so what can we do? So there is one logic now, because we have already learned the compositive. We can write if m is greater than 100, or m is less than 0, then it is an invalid code. I can write. So I can delete this else part. I can also write, I do not need to refer to the nested if. Now I'm able to do this programming using our compositive. So I am just I just want to compare nested if and compositive thing. So now if m is greater than 91 and m is lesser than 100, okay, then it is grade A, right? Let me copy this part of code, and yeah, let me delete everything. Let me write it fresh. Okay. Okay. So if the value, if the marks is greater than 71 and lesser than 90, then it will be grade B. Right? The similar type of expression, 51 to 70, it is grade C. Right? So, okay. So if what else is left? 31 to 50. Then it will come under grade D. And else grade C. I'm not going to write everything. Else grade C. Grade E, sorry. Grade E. Okay. So I have to adjust this tab because I cannot press 2 tabs. It should be 1. Yeah. So let me give some values. Okay, what is wrong? And then okay, sorry. I have done one bad mistake. It should be and. So I have to remember actually multiple programming language. So sometimes I make these mistakes. Okay. So these and can be used in Java and in other languages. So in Python, it is only and, simple and. Okay, now it's correct. Okay, now enter your marks. Let me give a marks like 40. I'm not good at examinations. So 40. So it is giving the correct result, grade B. But we have one problem here. We have one major problem here. What is the problem? If you are able to understand, it is good, but it is impossible to find. Okay, it is very tough to find the problem. So if I give 95, what will happen? It will give grade A and grade E. Now, from where this grade E is coming? So let me check the conditions once again. If 95 is greater than 100 or less than 0, no. So this part will not be executed. If 95 is greater than 91 and less than 100, answer is yes. So this will print grade A. This part, it is not going to satisfy. This part is not going to satisfy. So actually, if we are printing grade A, nothing should be compared. So it is actually wasting the time of CPU. So there is no meaning to go through all these conditions once again. So, okay, remember this point, but first let me go into the code, why it is printing grade E, that I'm going to discuss. So after that, if it is inside 31 or 50, answer is no, and it is going into the else part, and so that it is printing the grade A. This else part is only dependent on this if. Okay, so actually there is no meaning to use this if else block. Otherwise, we have to write all the codes like this. Means if m, even we need to write the last condition as well. So these are some common mistakes. That's why I have shown you. So I have to write a separate code for this. Even if it is not enough, I have to write like m greater than 0, because all of those if blocks are independent. So I need to mention everything so clearly. Otherwise, it will be a mess. So that is our problem. So that should run now. So, but still, I will prefer, do not waste time. Whenever you find the marks is invalid, do not need to go to the other part. If this part is true, do not need to go all of them. So it is better to use a mixture of nested if and composite if. Okay. So here, if this if block is true, I do not need to go to the rest. If it is not, then go inside the else. Okay, so we can write a problem like this. So this would be the perfect one. Let me do it quickly, because we are almost done. We have only one problem left, one topic left, better to say. Yeah. So there is no meaning actually to write all of these. If it is satisfied in the first line, do not need to go to the rest of the part. I think it is clear to you as well. So we can do some modifications here, like there is no meaning to give this part of condition. Means if it is coming to the else part, because aim is lying inside the range 0 to 100. If it is beyond 100 and if it is below 0, it will be said as invalid. So if it is somewhere between 0 to 100, then only it will come to the else part, right? Now it will be enough if the value is greater than 91 or not. So we do not need to give this part of checking, like if m is going beyond of 100 or not. So I do not need that. Okay, here as well, it is coming to this else part only because of it is failing here. That means it is not greater than 91. So I do not need to give this part. So similarly here, I have seen many problems like this in your programming, in the problems of my students. So this is not required at all. Even if that last if part is not needed, it will be enough if I write only else part. So this is the perfect programming I can have. Okay, a mixture of composite and nested if. Where it is needed, give composite if, like here I have used composite if, and where it is not, use nested if, like this if else ladder. Okay, I think it is now clear to you what is the means if you compare nested if and composite if. So let me go to the last topic, the last one. It is the different patterns of composite if. So suppose in some school they have asked for 80% attendance, 70% marks in practical, and 60% marks in theory. Then only you will be getting admission. So let me write it quickly. A for attendance. A equals to enter the attendance. Okay. Okay, let me copy the same. Enter practical marks. Okay, it will be insert practical P. It will be practical and theory T. Say, I am trying to give some meaningful name. Enter your theory marks. Okay. So now the condition of the school is you have to get everything. You have to get 80% attendance, you have to get 70% marks, you have to get 60% marks, then only you will be admitted to your college or school anyway. So what I'm going to write, I am going to use a compositive. So what will be that? A should be greater than equals to 80 and A should, the practical marks P is greater than equals to 70 and theoretical marks greater than equals to 60. Then only I will say, I will print, yes, you are admitted. Correct? If anyone fails anything, any one point at least, it will be printed like no or sorry. Okay. So let me check. I am say good at mathematics, 90% attendance. Good at attendance. Sorry. So enter practical marks. I am good at practical coding. 80 marks I got, but in theory I got 10. Say so it will say sorry. He means I am not able to get admission in that school or college. Okay. So now I am going to another school where they are asking for, they need either 80% attendance, okay, or 70% marks in practical or 60% marks in theory. Any one. If I can provide any one criteria, if I can fulfill any one criteria, then I will get the admission. So look, any one. Okay. So what should be our code? It is pretty easy. I think you can guess. So I can write only or. Okay, so let me check the program now. Suppose I have attendance, I have poor attendance, like 20% only. Practical marks, I have a good marks in practical, 90, and the theoretical marks in like 10 only. So in this school, I will get admitted because they are looking for only one criteria. So I am able to satisfy the same, and they will take the admission. Okay. Yes, you are admitted. Very good. Now there is another school. They are saying either he or she has 80% attendance. Otherwise, they are giving a second option that you should have 70% marks in practical and 60%. So this combo should be available. Means 70% and 60%. You need both or 80% attendance only. So anyone you have to give. So what I should give? A is 80, that is one condition itself enough. Otherwise, P 70 and T 60, both. So either this combination or this one alone, then you will be admitted. So let me check. Again, my attendance is poor, 20, practical marks is 90, and theory marks is 10. So I will not get the admission because I am not able to providing attendance greater than 80% or the marks, both the marks. I am able to provide only practical marks, but I'm not able to provide the theoretical marks. So it is not possible. So they are saying sorry to me. Okay. So yeah. So I hope you are able to get the idea. So we have covered all the topics. So I will prefer to practice all the problems once again using your Python compiler. So if you face any problem, you can go through the video once again. But my aim is that you should put your logic by yourself in the upcoming exercise. Okay, so you can find the exercise in our Facebook group. So this is the Facebook group you can log into, and even you can get all these things printed in the written format in our blog spot. So all the details are provided in the details section of the video. Just check it once, and in case of any problem you can come out to me to this mail ID. Okay, I will surely try to refer to your problem. And let me show you the Facebook exercise. Just give me a minute only. Okay, so this is our page. You can go to Binary World. So you can go to the photos section. You will get to see some of the posts here. Go to the album section. You can access it from your phone, from your PC, anything. So go to coding exercise basic, this album. If you go inside, you will be able to see the problems. So you can start it from here, the chapter 2, starting if. So after that, you can cover nested if, you can cover composite if. So you can find all the exercise here. Okay. So you do not need to go to the for loop. So for loop is the next one. So I will cover it later in the next video. So yeah, best of luck for your exercise. If you face any problem, you can contact me via mail. Okay. Okay. Bye. Then bye for today.